my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Egg Wars. I was just going to have a guest appearance here, but she just hopped off my lap after about 2 seconds, so I don't think she's going to want to be in the video now, so that's fine. She's probably wondering why I've been sitting here not making any noise, now I'm suddenly making noise. It all makes sense. And also, I know, I realize I'm uploading this a little bit later. The last few days I've been uploading early morning, now tonight it's evening time. I do apologize for that. I've been very busy today, and I'm going to be very busy the next few days, so I might not even be uploading every single day. I'm not 100% sure yet. We'll see how it goes. I for sure got one video coming tomorrow where I'm just going to talk about the whole Egg Wars concept in general, because people have been kind of getting at me and they're like, you know, some of them, they really like Egg Wars. They want, you know, they would like even more Egg Wars. They want like multiple Egg Wars every single day. And some people are saying it's just way too much. I should do like one a week. And some people are just saying that it's kind of tired, you know, like, you know, it's not something that needs to be, you know, like I should change up and move on to some other kind of thing and, you know, do something else because this is getting played out. So I totally get where everybody's coming from, people who tell me the different kind of stuff that I'm hearing. So I definitely get that. So I'm going to speak on that in a video tomorrow. But for now, first off, before we get into today's story, let's go ahead. We got sips on deck. You know how we do. You do know how we do. So let's go ahead and ting, ting. Ting. Crack that bad boy. Ooh. That was a low duration, high impact sip opening. Now let's get that sip. Looking you in your eyes. And of course, shout out to all of you for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. As always, much love to you for your support. Alright, now, today, once again, I don't believe I have anything else to get to before the story today. Like I said, you know, you guys are there's some things that are gonna become very apparent over the next few days. Even if I'm not uploading videos, you're gonna know why, I'm quite certain. You know, maybe not if you don't follow me on the proper social media, you know, maybe if all you do is follow me on YouTube, then maybe not. But I'm telling you, if you follow me on anything else, maybe even on 4chan, I don't know, we'll see what happens. We'll see how far it goes. Anyway. Now, about a week ago, I made an Egg Wars where I talked about e-dating, and how I said e-dating is just, you know, it never seems to go quite well. I mean, there's some people that it works for, but a lot of people it doesn't work very well for. There's just too much, you know, there's just too much catfishing. There's too much, you know, you never really know what you're getting yourself into, that sort of thing. So, you know, but I say that coming from somebody who has done a stupid amount of e-dating, you know, way more than any decent person should, I'm sure. But today, I want to talk about a little story about me and a chick. And now this chick, this is actually the story of the last female who I ever had any hope for outside of e-dating. And now, I do want to make one annotation, amendment, or whatever you want to say before I get into this story. It is true that I did go on a date with a chick off OkCupid back in 2015, I think. And that was a total shit show. That was just fucking, you know, I mean, the date itself wasn't bad, but it was just like, you know, this chick was, you know, she turned out to be, you know, she's probably on crack or something now. She was totally just, you know, not going anywhere, not, you know, she was just not in good shape. I mean, she wasn't, she was kind of fat, but, you know, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, but it was something, so I took that something, I gave it a try, and it went nowhere. But I want to talk about the real last time I really had real long-term interaction with a female from an IRL standpoint that, you know, before I just said, that's it, I'm done with it, it's all finished. Excuse me. So to start this story, we're going to go back to about, well, it's going to be 2000, God, fuck. It must be 2010. Yeah, actually, yes. Yep, that's right. I remember this now. There was some of the details were a little fuzzy, but now they're not anymore. So it actually all started, there was this chick who I actually had a crush on, and you know, this is not the girl who I'm going to be talking about. There was this chick I had a crush on. She ticked all the boxes for me. She was trashy and fat and just really, you know, just really like, I don't know. I like chicks who are pretty much like just disgusting. I don't know. There's something about like a trashy kind of girl that I like trashy types of, I don't know. I like that. Like I don't, if I'm with some chick who's like real highbrow, real high class, real whatever, like I can't relate, you know what I mean? Like I can't relate. I need a chick who's kind of trashy, so like otherwise I'm not gonna be able to like, have a sort of connection. It's gonna be like right off the bat, I don't know, I am who I am. And I gotta, I can't really relate if you're, you just, from another, chunk of society, whatever. So, anyways, it was this chick who I went to school with. She was pretty fat and trashy, and she smoked weed. I'm pretty sure she listened to a lot of rap music. And I was like, all right, definitely, liking that direction. And she also she was friends with this girl who she was a sister of two guys who I had known in the streets, who were both drug dealers. I knew these guys, and this was like their younger sister who was like, like maybe 2 years younger than me. So anyways, the fat chick, I had a crush on her, and I was like, oh, she's pretty hot. I fucking like stalked her social media and shit and whatever else. But, she had a friend who was, pretty much, she was definitely more attractive than the fat chick I liked at this time. But the thing is that they had, this chick who's going to be the main female in this story. She used to be a lot fatter when she was younger, but then like when she was, a high school senior or whatever it was, when I started talking to her, then she was, in shape actually, 'cause she had learned, how to get in shape. So in any case, this social group that I've mentioned before, I've talked about before, I had a little bit of a social group coming out of high school. And it was really around the time that social group just was like not fucking with me at all anymore. They didn't want me around anymore. I wasn't cool enough for them. So they said, get the fuck out of here. We're doing our thing now. And I'm all kind of out on my own. I'm floating out, no social connections anymore. But this chick, she had some affiliations with the people I used to hang out with. And so, I was able to, I think maybe we had each other added on Facebook or some shit. And she ended up having to go to the hospital because she had a blood clot that, like, traveled to her heart or whatever, something like that, but from her birth control she was on. So all of a sudden she was laid up in the hospital. She was doing really rough. She was not, she was recovering, but she just, she had to be on blood thinners and all this different stuff. So at this opportunity, I happened to see this, and there was a guy who I knew from this social group that was kind of like, everything was so loosely affiliated, because I never really was like, I was never really accepted into like any of these groups, but it was all like loosely affiliated enough that I think the dude was going to go check on her, see how she was doing, whatever, because they were kind of friends, and I was like, well, I don't have anything going on, so I'm going to go see what's going on. So I went and went to the hospital with him to go, see what she was up to or whatever, and we kind of sat down and talked, and that was really like around I think that was right about the first time we first started communicating. Now, this was like a time where I didn't have a vehicle, so I rode there with this guy, and, then I rode, back or whatever, and me and this chick, we were talking on Facebook. Then after she got better, I'm like, yo, what's up? You feeling better? How's it going? Da-da-da, what's going on? And she's like, oh, yeah, and then we started kind of talking more and more through, like, Facebook Messenger, and eventually I got her phone number from whatever the case was. She told me it or whatever. And she was somebody who I would consider probably to be like a gamer girl, but she wasn't like hugely into it. She was friends with people who played Magic, and I didn't really have a lot of exposure to like gamer girls at the time, but she was like kind of gamer girl, but like kind of like punk girl at the same time. It was just, she kind of just dabbled in like nerdy shit, but it was like a really shallow level of it, but it was, at the time, didn't really have any interaction with any chicks who had expressed any sort of anything I was interested in before. So I'm like, shit, this girl's talking to me. We're chatting up on the phone sometimes. She likes a very shallow level of some stuff that I'm into, but hey, this is cool. And also I have no other social contact at all. So this is just great. This is fine. This is fantastic, But I'm trying to think how this progressed. It's been a while. Like I said, so I wasn't driving at the time, but she always wanted to hang out with me, which, once again, was very unusual to me. So she would go, she was, 18, 19 at the time or whatever. And she, doing 18-year-old, 19-year-old stuff. She liked to be, I want to go to the mall. I want to go do this. I want to go do this. And she would just like pull up at my house. I was living with my parents at the time still. She would just pull up and be like, oh, hey, let's go. I'm going to go do this stuff. You want to come hang out? And I'm like, oh shit, that was, even now, that never happens. That's never happened to me ever since this particular social arrangement. And that was all cool. We'd go do, all this different stuff. We'd go out to eat. We'd go to the mall, and she wasn't like taxing me. She wasn't like expecting me to like, go with her and then pay for shit. It was just a totally friendly experience and everything like that. But to the point even at this point where I was still so kind of socially inept, I did find her attractive, you know what I mean? And like, I did, I had an interest in her in a way, but at the same time, I was like, this is my only social connection in the whole world. I have no social anything. No, I'm not gonna, this is my one friend, so I'm not gonna want to be like, macking on her and shit like that. So basically, I was kind of friend zoned, but I kind of was just like, whatever, cool, I'm cool with it. I don't even care. I just want, I've lost everything else. I've lost my full social interaction, so this is cool. This works. It's great. And then, I want to say this was starting in spring of 2011 now. I don't even remember how we got into it, but she got into, like, biking, and she was into biking. And I like to bike too, because like I said, I wasn't driving at the time, so I like to, I was fucking biking already anyway, because that's just how I was getting around. I was like, shit, I don't got no money for no car, I'm gonna be biking around. So when I was, she noticed, that I was biking around, she was like, oh shit, I like biking too. She lived, over by these trails. She kind of lived on the edge of town, like, almost like, it was kind of weird. You'd have to know where I'm from, I guess, to kind of get the layout, but basically it was, there's like, the town, and then like the edge of town, and then there's like a township where there's like bike trails and all this shit going on, and she kind of lived like right at the edge of town there. So she was like, oh, I should come pick you up sometime. Let's go take our bikes together. Let's go fucking hit the bike trails. And so we started doing this, and it was really entertaining. It was really fun. We'd go fucking, we'd bike together. And I've had nobody in my life who I ever, like, even my ex-girlfriend, she, we had bikes, but I don't know, like, I don't know what the fuck ever even happened with that. There was just nobody, there's been nobody I've ever known like this chick who was like really into biking, and she was really, fun. It was just, let's go meet up, it was always just fun and bright and bubbly with her. She had this great personality, and everything was good, but, unfortunately, it was not all rainbow and sunshine, because I actually calculated this after our eventual split, after we eventually went our separate ways. I recalled, I went back over this, and I was like, shit, you know what? Every single time that we ever hung out, and we hung out for, over a year, like, we hung out for, like, probably a year and a half, maybe, something like that, on and off. And I think every single time we ever hung out, she had always, every single time, had to talk about some other guy. Like, she was always talking about other guys and other relationships. There was one guy who, I'm trying to remember how the time frame on this went. I'm pretty sure that she started seeing this one actually really cool guy first. Let me tell you about this guy. She had started working at this sub shop, which no longer exists as far as I'm aware. She started working at this sub shop, and she was like 18, 19, whatever. And there was a dude who worked there. I'm not naming any names because I don't know what this guy's up to now. But this dude was pretty cool. He was I think at the time he was like 29 or 30, and he lived in an apartment with his mom. And he was just like a total chill motherfucker. He liked to just sit around and play video games. He worked at this job. He'd go and fucking, get some cheap booze, go back to his fucking apartment with his mom, and fucking go in his bedroom, play video games, shit like that. And this is like the dude I want to be, because this dude, fucking chill as hell. I talked to him for years after me and this chick stopped talking. Like, if I ran into him, we'd always shoot the shit. But anyways, they were working together, and this chick, who I was friends with, she was basically a little fucking firecracker, a little nympho. And however the case went, like, she started flirting with this guy while they were working together, and he ended up doing something, that he decided he didn't want to work there anymore, so he stops working there, and then he basically starts coming around, and these two end up, having a fling. So where, like, she would fucking go over to his apartment, they would just go and fucking, graphic shit, I'm sure, but I heard bits and pieces that obviously I didn't want to hear about it when she talked about it. I'm like, gross, I don't want to fucking hear that shit. But I knew what was going on, and whatever the case was, they were doing their thing, and one night, actually, like, at night, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, she fucking calls me like 10 times, and I fucking pick up the phone, I'm like, oh, what's up? And she's like, oh, he went back to his girlfriend, he went back to his girlfriend and I still want to be with him and all this shit. And at the time then I was like, even now, this is kind of what eventually led our relationship to kind of break apart, was because I can't really do, like, I don't know what to say to that, you know what I mean? I don't know if some chick calls me and she's like, oh, this thing happened in my relationship. Now, having had some experience, maybe I'm going to know a little bit better. I actually have there's still a couple chicks who have come to me in like the last month and asked me for relationship advice. I'm like, I'm really not the guy to ask, but hey, you know what, I'm going to try, I guess. But she calls me up and she's like, oh my god, what do I do? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, straight up, just like, fuck, what? I don't fucking know. And she's like, oh my god, how could you not? You're so cold. And she fucking hangs up on me. I'm like, whatever, it's all good. I'm like, shit, I don't feel, I have no feeling for this. Like, I don't know what that, what? I'm not fucking Dr. Phil. I'm sorry that happened. What do you want me to say? You know what I mean? I'm like, shit, I'm just keeping it all the way real, you know what I mean? I'm just like, shit, I don't know. But that dude was cool. She actually stopped biking with me for a while, because she wanted to bike with this guy, but then she was like, oh, but I don't know why my fucking brain still holds this shit in, why I still have these memories, but I remember her telling me, she's like, shit, I don't want to ride bikes with him because his dick is big and he might hurt himself. It might get get caught in the fucking spokes or some shit. I don't know. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would I want to know that? You know what I mean? But this is just how it went down. This is what I fucking put up with. I fucking put up with some chick coming around me and talking about fucking other guys just because I didn't care. I was like, I'll take any kind of fucking social interaction. I'll put up with this shit. You're coming to my house, you're picking me up, I don't have a car, I'm a fat loser, I have no friends, I have nothing to offer you, and you're an attractive chick, you're gonna come do this for me? Alright, I'll put up with listening to whatever this bullshit is. Fine, that's fine. I don't fucking care. Whatever, I'm willing to, degrade myself, debase myself, because I have no fucking, there's nothing to build upon here. I'm a fucking loser, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck it. But then, after that whole incident with this dude, there was another guy who, I can't remember if I must have talked about him in the Ask Eggy, where I talked about the first chick I ever fucked, because this dude, when I fucked the first chick I ever fucked, this dude had just broken up with the chick who I fucked, and he was like trying to win her heart back, and he would like show up to her apartment like while I was there and shit. I can't remember if I talked about that in this video. Anyways, same dude comes back around, doesn't know that me and this chick are friends, and I'm saying totally just friends. Like, I was okay with that. Fuck it, I have no social life, whatever, it's cool. But they start dating, and this dude is, I think I'm a fucking reprehensible beta piece of shit for what I put myself through at this time. This dude is on a whole other level. This dude is like the most beta guy ever, and he starts dating this chick, and I think they dated for maybe like 3 or 4 months, maybe. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember 100% for sure. But basically, they started dating, and of course, this chick's a fucking nympho, a little firecracker. She's like, shit, I just want to, let's get down and dirty. Let's get right to it. We've been dating for like a week. All right, long enough. Let's fucking get to it. And he absolutely refused. He was like, my lady, my sweet, beautiful princess, I would never want to lay one sullied hand upon you. We must simply wait. We must wait until we really know that we are really in love, my lady. And she was like, okay. She's like, I'm dating you because I'm attracted to you, and but I need to be satisfied, otherwise I'm going to leave you. And he just wouldn't have any of it. Like, she actually, I remember, once again, I don't know why. Well, she actually came and made me breakfast one time that I can recall here. She brought my favorite blueberry syrup, everything. Shit, for what it was, she was a nice girl. She fucking did this stuff for me. I couldn't even get my fucking ex-girlfriend to cook for me 80% of the time. I was having to cook and work all the fucking time, so some chick I wasn't even dating come and making me fucking omelets, pancakes and shit, bring me blueberry syrup. Cool deal, what's up? But she comes there and she's like, we were riding together the other day, and I tried to rape him in his vehicle. Like, I tried to fucking just like take his pants off, and I'm sitting there eating my fucking blueberry pancakes and shit. I'm like, hell no, you know? But she's like, oh, I tried to fucking just like rip his pants off when we were driving or whatever, and he just like, he fucking gave me like a fucking, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin, motherfucking People's Elbow, The Rock. He was fucking dabbing on me, you know, every single type of way to try and fucking get me away from him and shit. And I'm like, god damn. I was like, man, I don't know what this dude is, but so she was like, oh, you know what? You know, she's like, shit, I don't know if this is working out. You know, maybe I just need to find another guy. And of course, at the time, once again, Mr. Old beta fuck here, I was like, oh, you're right. You know, you need a real man like you, like, you know, like me. You need a real man around and shit. And she was like, you know, just kind of laughed it off because, I mean, who wouldn't, right? But she basically came forward to the dude and was like, you know, she talked to him, and, you know, then she talked to me after she talked to him, and he thought that I was like, you know, he found out that we'd been hanging out together, and he's like, oh, that's that same guy who fucking, he stole my ex-girlfriend, he stole her away from me, and oh, you know, he's that jackass, oh, you know. He was I mean, the thing is, like, the dude was a fucking normal-looking guy. He was probably like 6'1", 6'2". He wasn't fat. I mean, he had some tattoos and shit, like, normal-looking dude. I don't know what his problem was, but... So, whatever the case was, eventually, she ends up, like, breaking up with this dude. And after she breaks up with this dude, that's when it starts getting a little more... things started to get a little more sour, I guess you could say, because... she kind of started to go off into, like, the fucking kind of deep end of shit that just, where it got to the point where I was like, nah, I can't really get down with this anymore. Cause she fucking was getting, she started off doing, like, crazy hair colors, you know, just normal crazy chick shit. She fucking went and pierced her fucking titties, I remember that, and she showed me too, so, I mean, that was alright, you know, I was like, okay, you know, hey, they were pretty decent. She's like, hey, look what happened to me, and I'm like, oh shit, oh, that's cool. And, well, then she fucking got her pussy pierced, and then she started getting all these tattoos and shit, and I'm like, okay, you know, something has definitely gone wrong here. You're definitely, you know, even in my still relatively blue-pilled frame of mind that I was in like 2010, 2011, you know, early 2012, before I was browsing Poll heavily, you know, I was like, you know, there's definitely some shit going on here. There's definitely some problems going on here. This isn't gonna go well. And, I'm trying to remember how it all broke down. Well, I know, it was, our time spent together started to kind of deteriorate, and she was hanging out with more of these fucking, like, Tumblr people, and I think that kind of played a role into it, too, because I'm sure none of these people, I know she ended up doing a little better for herself, the chick I'm talking about now, sometime, I mean, I'm assuming she's still doing well, like, she got into some kind of situation where she was doing better for herself, but, like, these people who she used to hang out with, like, as our relationship was deteriorating, I know these people are probably, like, really fucked up. They were on drugs all the time. They're fucking doing a million tattoos, a million everything, you know, just totally fucked up people. But this is how it was. And then one fateful day, you know, we probably hadn't hung out. I think it was, like, for over a month. Because I remember I had hung out with her and some other people in, like, New Year's-ish of 2012, if I remember properly, somewhere in that vein. And then it was like a month or two later after that, where she's like, oh, we haven't hung out for a while, let's go hang out. And I had been, you know, if you don't know about me, early 2012 I was in the best shape of my life. I had been on fit since like September of that last year of like 2011. I was on fit every day. I was fucking doing the sticky. I lost like fucking 70 pounds or something like that. I was getting lean at this point. I was pretty much in my best shape at this point, and I was feeling good about it. But I was super into all these fit memes. And so what happened was that me and this chick, we went out to eat at this restaurant one day, and it's one of my favorite restaurants still. I've taken, like, every girl who I've ever taken on a date, I went there. So we went to this restaurant, and we're sitting there, and we're catching up, you know, it'd been a couple months, but things had kind of started to sour a little bit between us. Like, I mean, I could feel it, you know, she was kind of on some other shit. I was kind of on my meme shit. I was spending a lot of time, you know, I was getting my socialization from Fit. I was getting my socialization from 4chan. And so we were sitting there, and I can't remember. I don't think I had to pay for everything. You know, I'm pretty sure we still split the check. But there was a girl, actually, I should say woman, who was next to us, who was very obese. and she actually ordered 2 full-course meals just for herself. And so she was sitting there and she was just fucking gorging, she had like chins down to here. I mean, totally grotesque. And I made some comments about like, I called her like a fucking lard moon or something like that. I totally just fucking went out there and fucking said that shit. And I was having a good chuckle, and she got really, really pissed off because, like I said before when I first started this video, she had used to have been overweight until she kind of got into exercise, and then she was able to do better for herself and all that shit. But because I made these comments towards this overweight woman, she just got so upset that she fucking went and she deleted me off Facebook. Fucking, I tried to text her, she wouldn't respond. All this shit, she totally just cut me off 110%. And it was also then roughly about that time that I pretty much just I started going on. I was like, that was like my last fucking like rope to society, to social interaction, my last fucking string that I was hanging on to be a normal person, a normal member of society, and she kind of just fucking chopped that shit. I started posting Jew memes on Facebook every single day. All these like fucking shekel memes I took off fucking poll. I was posting them on Facebook every day, and like random people were liking them that like I went to school with, which is kind of still interesting to me, honestly, when I was posting do not believe the Jewish lies, and people were fucking liking statuses and shit that I went to high school with. Pretty interesting. I wonder how those people are doing these days. Maybe they took me for a fool. I don't know. But I posted all this shit. I ended up, my Facebook got deleted eventually. What else? I just basically, everything just kind of started going, down that hill. I was spending all day on poll every single day. I was doing red pill shit every single day. It just kind of went down, and I just decided, society was not for me anymore at that point. I said, fuck it, I'm gone, I'm doing my own thing, and I think, was it not for the best? I don't know. I mean, people would say, a normie looking in would be like, no, it wasn't, but, I mean, really, listening to some chick talk about a bunch of dudes she fucks every day, all this shit. I mean, this is what normies do, you know what I mean? They fucking sit around, and they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter and all this shit, and they're talking, they're going around saying, oh, I'm a man, so I don't know anything about women, and women are the most special thing ever, and I could never ever judge a woman, and I'm gonna go to the slut walk today. I mean, shit, I probably would have ended up going to a fucking slut walk if that had existed, because that was the type of chick that this chick was turning into. The people she hung around, they were fucking SJW, proud sluts, all this different shit. That's like the type of shit that was going on. Like, that's what they turned into. So, fuck, I could have been really out there being a full-on Redditor, being a full-on, fucking disgrace, beta, fucking cuckold, fucking defending women online, all that bullshit. But I said, nah, I'm not gonna do that. That's not who I am. I'm not gonna go down that path. I would rather make YouTube videos making fun of women and insulting them and everybody and shit like that. People I disagree with, I don't want to fucking ever respect them. I would rather talk shit about them and just be a total asshole. If I'm an asshole and I don't have feelings and I don't fucking care about anybody else but myself, maybe that's how it is. But if it was either that or be a fucking pussy and fucking be a little bitch on social media all day, fucking defending proud sluts or whatever the fuck normies do, I couldn't get down like that. It's just not me. So, I guess the moral of the story is, it is true. I'd said e-dating is pretty much a load of very volatile crap. It's sometimes you can make it work, and sometimes you have those beautiful relationships that just happen. People are playing a fucking MMO together and they fall in love with each other. Although nowadays it's probably more likely that it's going to be 2 guys, but hey, whatever, that whatever floats the anime profile pic traps boats, I guess, right? But at the same time, like, I can't tell you that some chick that's IRL is any better, because fuck, in my experience, it sure as hell isn't. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, it's like, fuck, is it better for us to enjoy what little bits that we can, you know what I mean, to enjoy, even if we're going into a fucking relationship that we know is destined for failure, it's definitely not going to work out, there's, it's just totally no fucking way in hell that it's ever going to work properly, we just know this, is it better to still just go board that sinking ship, board that sinking Titanic ship just for that night, in the ballroom with all the beautiful drinks and the beautiful crystals and the beautiful decor and clothes and all that stuff, just to get that one night on the Titanic and go down with the ship? Or is it better to just, go and fucking try and date some 400-pound blue-haired chick who goes to fucking slut walks, and you have to degrade yourself and debase yourself. You know, you have to be some fucking person who takes a picture for Facebook that has Bernie 2016 and has, you know, you and your wife's son hanging out together and shit. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I guess my actions speak for themselves. I've done a lot of at least attempted a lot of random relationship, dating bullshit, even though that I agree that it's not really going anywhere and not really healthy. But I mean, at the same time, you know, I would rather have, you know, that's good feeling, even if it's volatile and it's not going to last, compared to some kind of fucking sadistic bullshit that you have to deal with, where you're just with some chick who you know is shit, and you're just, you never opened those wings, you never took that flight, even if it was off a fucking cliff to your imminent death. You never went and took that flight, you never took that step. I'm all about taking risks. I'm all about doing crazy shit. That's my life. That's what I do, and I don't regret it. Except, I mean, I guess sometimes I do kind of regret it. Sometimes I look at myself and I go, shit, you know. But was it better to light that flame and to, you know, to burn bright for a short time, or just to be a fucking, you know, muddled matchstick that's trying to keep the rain from pouring on top of my tiny little bit of life, my tiny little bit of fucking smoldering life that you can barely even call living, and eventually have that one raindrop that slips through and fucking extinguishes me into a fucking pile of smoke for the last 30 years of my life, just being a fucking smoking pile of dirt, you know? Who knows? I've made my choices, though. I've made my decisions, and that was the time. That was the day that I knew that was the decision that I was going to make. Alright, well, we still got a few minutes of free open time here, but I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to be putting out a video tomorrow. I'm going to talk about the whole EggWars concept, where we've been so far and where it is going, just to kind of address some people's concerns. I might end up missing a day or two of EggWars. Like I said, I have some very big things coming up. You're probably going to see it. If you don't, just take my word for it. Some big shit coming up. So I don't know if I'll I don't know about EggWars over the next couple days. We'll see what happens. But until next time, either way, my friends, stay golden, stay glorious, and stay on top of your game, because we are going to make it, and you guys are going to see. I'm going to try and show you, you know what I mean? I'm going to try and show you what dedication and all that stuff, you know, and trying our hardest and trying, you know, no matter what bullshit happens to us, I'm going to try and show you that there's things that we can get out of it, and I hope I can show you that soon. But until next time, friends, we'll catch you later.
Sounds from the void.